Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Thursday talk series brought to you by the Manhattan Meditation Center and the Peace Village Retreat Center. So for all of you that are on Facebook and YouTube, welcome. And those that are on Zoom, y'all have been here through all the COVID. Glad you're still here. And for everybody that's actually made it to the center, so glad that y'all are getting out and going back into the center to see these live programs. It's definitely a treat. So, couple of things that just wanted to mention. This program is being recorded, and so if you want to revisit it at a later time, you can go to our Facebook page or our YouTube page and access it at any time. And just for those that are in the center and live, just wanted to make sure that y'all are aware it is being recorded. So if you move about, just be mindful of where that camera is. We want to protect your privacy. So we have a couple of great programs that are actually coming up. So there's one that's coming up, a workshop, and it's a Spanish workshop. So if you have anybody that is Spanish speaking that would like to attend the workshop, it's Emerge Healthy Emotions with Meditation. That is coming up on the 29th of July. In August, we have August 12th and 13th, we have the Invisible World of Truth. It's a 2-day meditation course. We have a long session, which is 7 days, and then we have the short ones, which are 2 days. So you can actually catch that. And then also at the end of August, we have a retreat, and this is for everybody that is from Haiti or Haiti descent. It's how to stop the pain and start the healing for the Haiti community everywhere. And this is actually going to be in Peace Village Retreat Center. So if you'd like to attend, or if you know anybody that would like to attend that, please check out the website. So today you have this amazing topic with all the bombardment that we have in this world going on, the power of staying uninfluenced. And sometimes that's not so easy, especially when those devices are in our hands and constantly bombarding our minds with all this information. So we're going to turn it over to Sister Rona to kind of guide us through that and give us some tips to kind of help us to stay uninfluenced today.
Hello, everyone. And maybe before we get into that talk, staying uninfluenced, maybe we can have a few moments of silence. And in that silence, just let us try to be uninfluenced. Whatever happened today, whatever may be happening later on, just as if put it aside and stay focused on what you're doing right now, creating a moment of stillness, of peace of mind. And one thing that helps if you use in your mind an image. And the image that I use is of a tiny star, like a living light. And just hold that image in the mind. Thank you. Just give me a moment. Need to attend to the doorbell and I'll be back. how to stay uninfluenced. And to start, wanted to start with a short story. And this is a story of Nasruddin. This is a story from the East. Nasruddin is a very popular figure in the Middle East, cartoon figure, but he's shown as a mullah, a wise man, but he has some twists in his wisdom. And so Nasruddin one day decided to sell his donkey. And so he took his grandson and they went on the way to the market to sell the donkey. And in certain cultures, especially warmer weather, people gather on the corner of the street and they play games, some chess or whatever. But during the game, they tell each other all kinds of big stories of the purpose of life and the origin of the universe, and they give each other advice on how to live their life. So in Nasruddin's town, same. So he goes with his grandson and the donkey to the market, and they encounter some of these life philosophers in the corner of the street. And they say to Nasruddin, Nasruddin, what's wrong with you? You have a donkey in this hot weather and you are walking. What's wrong with you? We thought you were more clever than that. So Nasruddin says, these people they're right. So he climbs on the donkey and he go further. Donkey, Nasruddin on it, and his grandson walking. So they come at another street corner, and another group of philosophers of life sitting, and they see him and they start commenting, of course, Nasruddin, what is wrong with you? You are an adult. You're supposed to give good example to your grandson, and you sit comfortably and he has to walk in the hot sun while you are comfortably sitting on the donkey. So Nasruddin again says, these people are right. So he gets off the donkey, he puts his grandson on the donkey, and they continue on the way to the market. And then, of course, another street corner and another group of people commenting, and they say, Nasruddin, what's wrong with you? What kind of an example are you giving your grandson comfortably sitting on the donkey and you have to walk in the hot sun? So again, he says, these people are right. So he goes and sits on the donkey, both of them on the donkey, going to the market. So one more street corner to go before they reach the market. So another group of people commenting. And they say, Nasruddin, we thought you were a wise man. We thought you were a benevolent person. But this poor donkey, his belly on the floor, and both of you sitting comfortably on top of it. What's wrong with you? And now Nasruddin is fed up. He comes off the donkey, he tells his grandson to come off the donkey, and he said, you take the front legs of the donkey and I take the hind leg of the donkey, and they carry the donkey to the market. And the donkey fighting, trying to get loose. Now, why this story in the context of today's topic? There will always be people, there will always be things and situations telling you what to do, giving their opinion, trying to force their perspective on you. What happened that Nasruddin listened to everyone? What is it that made him listen to everyone? He valued their opinion. Anything else? he had not made up his own mind. He had made up his mind to sell the donkey, but he had not made up his mind how to go there. And so he was swayed by everything that was thrown at him. And he thought, oh, these people are right, these people are intelligent, these people are right. But if he was clear about what was the best way to go, he can listen to advice, but he's not swayed every time, changing. And the confusion towards his grandson also, what is right. And it is a simple example, but this is what often happens to us. We go about things, we go about our daily activities, but we are not necessarily clear about our aim and our method. Not necessarily clear about purpose. Purpose not necessarily even in a grand way, but why, what am I doing today, internally or externally? And if you are clear, then it is much less detrimental in terms of being influenced, because whatever comes your way, you will mirror it to what your aim is, what your purpose is, what your destination is today. A simple example, if I have to go to Grand Central to go catch a train upstate, and that train leaves 8:30. Many things can happen, but I have to go catch my train. So it is clear for me what I have to do, what time I have to be there, or when I have to get the ticket. So somebody starts talking to me, saying all kinds of things. I am still clear that this should not go on for long because I have my aim. Macy's announced they have a sale, 80% off everything. I have to go catch my train. I will not be distracted. Somebody on the corner makes a big fuss, all kinds of things, people looking, talking, funny, whatever. I am clear about my aim. I will not be distracted. Something happening on YouTube, something, whatever, some video going on. I have to know, I know what I have to do, where I have to go, what I have to occupy my mind and my physical activities in. Then whatever happens, and there are thousands of things happening all the time, all around us, it is clear where to go, what to do, and what not to do. So even if unexpected things come up, unannounced things come up, you will, you will analyze them, or you will deal with them according to your aim and your destination. And what doesn't help you get to your aim, you will not be distracted by it. Now, if we are constantly distracted and influenced and overloaded and overburdened with things, what does that mean? We're not clear on our aim. We're not clear on our destination. Does this make sense? So what is your aim and what is your destination? Don't know. Peace and happiness. Someone here is saying peace and happiness. Very good. So many things you can face on, analyze, will this help me get peace and happiness or not? Is that clear? Is that true? You want anybody doesn't want peace and happiness? But then there is a second level, that peace and happiness. You know what that is? There are some things that promise peace and happiness, but don't really give it. True or not true? Anyone here tried to get happiness, but ultimately ended up with broken heart or sorrow or stress or anxiety? So second level is you need a right method. So you need to be clear on your aim, and you need to be clear on what is the right method. We need a certain level of discernment. But again, coming back, and maybe this is not necessarily to answer for everyone, but to ask for yourself, what is your aim in life? What is your purpose? Now, aim means where you want to go. What is it that you want to achieve or experience? And purpose is, what am I here for? These two things. Can I go to I'll go to the board, because it might help clarify certain things. The board is visible?
Yes.
Our present day world culture has filled us with certain ideas of ourself and of life, which might not be very, how to say, very conscious to us. Because even though you might not necessarily have an immediate answer about what is my aim or what is my purpose, but subconsciously we have for ourselves defined certain aims. And they might fall in our purpose, but they might not necessarily be rationalized by us. And they may also not necessarily be truly leading to what we think we should want. And one belief that we hold generally, of course, there are individual exceptions, but generally there is the idea that we are born at a certain moment in time, and we are nothing and no one. When we are born, we are nothing and no one. And we go through life and we become someone because of the people around us, the things we get from the people around us, and the things we accumulate or we can get during the journey of life. So I'm nothing and no one, and I receive this body, and I receive the people around me, and then they decide a certain social status or a certain place in society, what they own. And then I get an education, I learn things, and I become someone. And I earn money, I get maybe some property, whatever. I achieve things in life, and I become someone based on what I achieve, what I can get, what I can own, and who I can gather around me. People, position, possessions, appearance also. That is what makes me who I am. And then we come to the end of the lifespan, and what happens? All of that is not there anymore then. So the death and the death of the body means I lose everything. And I become nothing and no one again. This is a general whole health belief that we not necessarily rationalize or philosophize, but we live in with this subconscious belief. And our society and our culture is based on this belief. And so your importance and your value or your greatness or your happiness, your peace, your feelings of love and being loved depends on what you can acquire and attain. And if for whatever reason you can't acquire, you can't attain, happiness is less, peace is less, love is less, and being loved even less, because I don't have all these things that you need to have to be lovely and to be loved or to be worthy of loved. This is, I may be sketching it a bit black and white, but to understand these dynamics. And we get this belief system through our culture, through our parents. They also, many of them, hold this belief subconsciously. And there may be some religious reason, religious belief systems or religious practices that people have every Sunday. They go to church or they do some rituals or they go pilgrimages or they may believe in rebirth, they may believe in God. But underneath it all, this is still the way we kind of feel about ourselves and about life and about purpose. Acquire, 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 get, 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 get. But more you get, more you're scared of this moment, because that means you will lose it all. And I'm back to nothing and no one. Now, in this mindset, you will be influenced by almost everything and everyone who promises you happiness, peace, love, or who we interpret as promising peace, happiness, and love. Now, why do people get addicted to YouTube videos, for example? Or anything. We go to again and again and again. We do certain things because distraction, because it gives us some temporary relief, or maybe even gives us happiness, just it doesn't last. If this is our mindset, we start with a mindset of emptiness. And you're trying to fill that emptiness. And then anything and everything can influence us. The spiritual model is very different. Actually, the opposite. The spiritual model says you are, and I'm just drawing a face, but you are a spiritual being. Not that there is a face, faces of the body, but the being of consciousness. You are a spiritual being of consciousness. And as a being of consciousness, an experiencer, a soul, you have everything. The soul transcends the limitations of matter, means birth of the body or death of the body. Soul transcends that. Body is just the vehicle. The innate nature of the soul, the self, is peace, is love, is benevolence. is secure, imperishable, free, respected, and full of respect, feelings of respect. An invisible experiencer who has come in this world. For what purpose? To play. We come to play the game of human life. To enjoy all this huge variety of toys. You know, there are these, what are these toy stores called? Toys R Us, and I think they are out of business now, but similar store. They're huge stores with toys. What toys for? To play. Now this spiritual being has come into this physical world to play this game, very sophisticated game. And very sophisticated toys also. This body is very sophisticated toy. We've come to play. And because part of the energy of us is play. You know, as a baby, what is the first thing they do? They play. Anything, any little thing. Some cockroach, they want to play. Some snake, they want to play. Some fingers, they want to play. The natural instinct of us is to play. But as we grow up, we get into this, I need, I want, and we lose the spirit of game. We lose the spirit of play. Part of our innate need, we are made to play. We are made to play the game, but we need to know the rules, and we need to know it is a game, and we need to know the toys. And the playing itself is fun. Playing itself is joy. But to be able to play, we shouldn't be in this beggar mindset. We shouldn't be in the victim mindset. We shouldn't be in the empty mindset. Because if you're in the empty mindset, you can't play, you cry. Now, this story that we sometimes share, it is a true story. Some of you may have heard it. This mother who comes to our center, meditation center, with 2 children, 4 and 6 years old. Did I share this last week? Maybe. Anyway, so these boys get some toys to play with whilst mother goes for her meditation course. So the big one, he runs and he grabs a truck and he says, Mommy, my truck. I want this truck. And the little one, 4 years old, he just gets some cars and train and he starts playing. He's happy. And the mother says to the big one, you can't have it. You can play with it. You can't have it. So he starts to cry. He wants to have it. He's in the corner holding on to his truck and he's crying. I want my truck. I want my truck, my truck. And his little brother wants to touch it. He cries even more. Don't touch my truck. So a whole hour passes. One big one crying, holding on to the truck. The little one is happy. 1 whole hour playing. After that hour, both of them have to go. Both of them have to leave the toys. Big one crying, other one is happy, jumping, going home. The big one fighting with mommy. Oh, you don't love me. You don't like me. Why you don't get my truck? Complaining. So adults, are they very different? We just have different toys. No? So this is what spoils that game mindset. This is what spoils that mindset where we can enjoy. And when we can enjoy, when we are full, we are not influenced so easily. Or not at all, maybe. We can listen to people's opinions, we can learn from situations, but we are not influenced. You don't take it in without thinking for yourself, without choosing and deciding what is the best scene to operate in, how to respond, how to deal with it. There is not that neediness inside. The whole game is extra in the first place. Nice to play, but no play is also good. And you sleep. That's fine too. So this model says you are a complete being innately. You are a being of love. You are a being of peace. You are a being of joy. You are a being of happiness, imperishable soul. And you get a very nice toy. What is that toy? What is that toy? The body. Yeah.
The body, the body.
Yeah, the body. Have you thought of your body as a toy? Probably not. But it's a very sophisticated toy. To be cared for properly, to be used properly. But it can do many things. And you can play this game of human life in a very, very elegant and clean and intelligent way if you use the body properly. And using it properly means to have the right attitude towards it also, towards the whole game. But you don't need the body in the first place to exist. You exist regardless, body or no body. You are a spiritual being, a being with innate higher potential, a being who belongs to the Supreme, a being who belongs to another dimension and has come into this physical world to play. Now, if you have come to play, then your aim is to learn to play the game right. Your aim is to train yourself to play it right. So somebody comes and says, your nose is ugly. What is that? You take offense? Who they think they are? Telling me my nose is ugly? Or do you think, oh, do I need some plastic surgery to put it right? Or do you think, oh, somebody doesn't like the color of my vehicle or the form of my vehicle, that's fine. Internally, you stay stable. You don't identify. And your sense of value and your sense of purpose doesn't depend on the form of the nose. And actually, you feel appreciation for this nose because this is something, this is like a little miracle. Understand the deeper dynamics of this. And so if we approach the physical world and the game of life from this space of emptiness or neediness or a beggar mode, then anything anybody will say becomes a reason to be upset. You want to say anything? Maybe just, so now this soul gets associated with a body, takes birth, and plays this game of life. And all these things, all these factors that come on the path. But this whole thing now, internally, there is the feeling it is extra. It is like an extra gift. Life, human life, is an extra gift. Attitude becomes like that. And if things are a gift, there is a sense of appreciation, there's a sense of respect, there's a sense of love. You will treat the gift right, but you will not be internally dependent. or anxious. And if it is not there, that's fine too. You still are internally whole and stable and complete. Now, one time, there was this program organized, and on the way to that program, we were visiting some friends. And the lady friend, they are from aristocratic background. This was in Europe. So high society people, they mingle with the queen and the king and that level of aristocracy. So we went to that place, and they live in a little castle. Not little, quite big castle. And so, you come there and you're quite impressed by all these servants and whatever is there. And this lady, we were there about half an hour on the way to the program. And half an hour complaining about the weather, complaining about the politics, complaining about the relationship, complaining about family, complaining about everything, anything, everyone, and no one. Half an hour. So when we left, we were kind of happy that we but relieved. But when we were leaving, thought was, I can leave. She cannot leave. Wherever she goes, she will carry that mind with her. So there was a feeling of mercy inside and a feeling of good wishes. And then we went to the program. And in the program, there was a boy on the side in a wheelchair. And he was smiling the whole time during the lecture, smiling and had this sparkle in his eyes. It was quite amazing. But he was paralyzed from neck down. So after the program, he comes to us and he says, life is a miracle. And every day is a gift from God. And I never forget that scene because it was such a contrast with this lady who has everything, but inside is misery. This boy, he has been paralyzed from the age of 8. He had an accident. He is from a lower middle class family background, paralyzed for the rest of his life. But his mind is sparkling. His mood is clean. You look at him and you want to be with him. Whilst this lady, you want to run away. Now, who do you think has more chance of having good friends and good relationships? Who do you think will have people who want to be with him? And it was such a good lesson for me of how our attitude can be so distorted. But it is because deeper belief systems that we consciously or subconsciously hold. But they decide how we think, what we feel, our attitude, our intention, our behavior, and our approach towards others. Our approach towards life. And so uninfluenced doesn't mean you don't listen to anything or anyone. No, you listen, but not with the neediness to please or to be liked. You listen with the intention to learn. Is there something I need to change or I need to adjust, or what can I learn here, but not out of I need something. Not subservient. Anyone want to say anything or ask anything? You want to share anything, Madiba? If you don't mind to use the mic so that those on Zoom can also hear you.
Hey, as you said that this spirit soul got a toy called body, right?
Mm.
So I have, say, other toys like my cell phone, my laptop, right?
Mm.
Or say my car. If something hits into my car and got scratches, I'd feel bad, but not that bad. Like if someone tells me, hey, you don't have hair, your nose is like that, things like that. So why this difference between this body is a toy and the cell phone is also a toy, but why do we love this body so much that even though we are spirit soul, someone tells anything about my body, I feel told to me. But not towards my other toys. So
very good. Because we identify more with our body. There are people who identify more with their car than with their body. I have to say, or with some other things. But in general, for the large majority of us, we completely identify with the body. We have, even if we use the word soul, doesn't mean I'm so conscious. I still feel I am this. I feel I am a female. I feel I am this physical image. And that identification has started from early onwards, and maybe even from before this body, previous lifetimes, that we carry that that tendency to identify. And the whole journey in spirituality and the practice of meditation is to disidentify from the toy. Disidentify means I use the toy, I appreciate the toy, I use it nicely, but I know I am not the toy. And if there's no toy, I am still okay. And the real self, the soul, is beyond gender. Because that is another area where we identify with male, female, skin color. Soul doesn't have skin color. Soul doesn't have gender. So both gender is a characteristic of the body. And there are many other things. We get attached and then we get into identification. And then something happens to it. We feel it happens to me. Somebody criticizes the nose. I feel they're criticizing me. And so the meditation, the practice of meditation is to come into the experience of the self as a spiritual being, a being of fullness, a being of completeness, a being of peace. And of course, it needs systematic practice and building up of that experience, because we generally don't think like this. The world doesn't think like this. The world thinks like this. And everything that comes our way is based on this model. And the body, nothing wrong with the body. The body is a fascinating object, is a fascinating toy. Only distinction is I am not this body. Anyone else want to say anything or ask anything? If it is has a green light?
Yeah. This black line, and you said, what is the purpose? And you said the purpose is to play. And then you can see that life is an extra gift. But what if you can't see that or understand the purpose? Is the purpose really to play?
One way to look at it is to play. In this mindset, we don't feel it is a play. In this mindset, we feel it is a war. In this mindset, we feel it is a torture. I'm exaggerating, maybe some instance, but in in this mindset, I will feel, and which is more useful, first of all, which is more useful, this mindset or this mindset. And situations will come anyway. People will criticize my nose anyway. These things will happen. Which mindset will make me able to deal with that in a way that doesn't affect my peace? If, in sports, no, a game is maybe a bit of a childish notion, but in sports, many challenges come. And higher you want to play the sports, more it needs your skills, but you enjoy. Now, one of my childhood friends, well, we were not close friends, but I knew him. We used to swim, and he had this natural talent of swimming and competitive swimming and water polo, all of that. And he just loved to swim. He loved the water, but he trained also very hard. And it was just it was wonderful to see him swim, but it is wonderful to train with him and to stretch your boundaries every time. And he won the Olympic medal for butterfly at some stage. And of course, this is a small country in South America where I grew up. So he was like a big hero coming back from the Olympics. And so they asked him, what did you do to, to get the Olympic medal? And he just looked a bit puzzled. And he said, I just love to swim. So he had all these achievements, but deeper behind, he just loved swimming. But he brought out all his skills. He had to beat all these big swimmers worldwide. He had to go for all kinds of competitions. But in his mind, it was just a game, and he loves to swim. And that brings out, in him at least, it doesn't mean it is always nice and fun. There is also that spirit of conquering obstacles, stretching your abilities. Now, if we can see this big human life with that spirit, obstacles are not obstacles. They are lessons to learn. They are situations that are inviting me to reach to higher abilities. Maybe not necessarily an example to your liking, but Christ is a good example. Now, his life was not a life on roses, if we have to believe history. And all kinds of situations, people throwing stones, they wanting to kill him, all of that. And they ultimately did put Jesus on the cross. Did it diminish his power to love? No. So maybe all those situations were just a test for his power to love. So who wins? The ones who persecuted him, or he who could love his enemy regardless? In this perspective, he is playing the game top-notch. Now, we are not Christ. We don't have to be either. But we all have that same potential. And we have people in recent last century that are famous that we know have used and brought out these abilities. Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, to some extent, you see this spirit of knowing what is right, knowing what is good, and not compromising it. Obstacles are no reason to stop. Obstacles are actually invitations to bring out soul power more. It is a shift of perspective, agreed. And if we have for a long time have been in this perspective and in this mindset, it will require active. A friend of mine said, you have to change the chip. I said, but the old chip automatically comes back. So you have to, for a time, remind yourself, and play with this. See, any situation, if I change my perspective and my mindset, how do I feel? How do I deal with it? What is anyway a healthier mindset? This one or this one? What will help you have healthier emotions? Because that is the other thing. Ultimately, how do you feel? That is a good yardstick. In the long run, how do you feel? This mindset, how do you feel in the long run? This mindset, how do we feel in the long run? Another way to say it, if the game doesn't appeal much to you, another way to look at life is as a school. There's something to learn. And in every situation, I can learn something. And if that attitude is there, I feel enriched by situations. So somebody says your nose ugly, what is there for me to learn? First of all, I am not my nose. There's much more to me than my nose. And so if somebody says that to me, and it helps me rationalize things, makes me emotionally independent. So I should be thankful for that lesson. Yeah, go ahead.
But so let's say we're in a school and we're learning, then my mind goes to, what am I learning for? To what end? Maybe the next life and then the next life. So it goes back to that purpose question. That's I don't know if anybody else has that thought, the struggle there.
This is why I think just the learning and the school, I think that is limited. A higher purpose is to enjoy playing the game. We need wisdom to play the game. And so in that sense, learning is useful. More I learn, more I can play the game with wisdom. Of course, there's a world of knowledge behind this, no? And I'm trying to kind of put some of the basic ideas in a 1 hour interaction. There is lots and lots of knowledge behind this, what we call soul conscious. And what I'm beginning to feel is that there is need to understand much more. There are many details to this journey. And there are laws that govern this game. The law of karma is one. There is the whole dynamics of during the game. There are different levels of consciousness. How do we go through that? And there is another dimension. There's the physical dimension, and there's the non-physical dimension. So there's much more knowledge and wisdom with which to experiment and to explore. So if you have that interest or that need, I would encourage to go check out some of the courses that go a bit deeper. Sharon, you wanted to ask anything, something? Or say?
Just wanted,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to say that if not from the moment I take this body, then very shortly after, I'm influenced by so many things.
Yeah.
And I'm subservient to what I think, for what society says I should want. They say I should want education, I should want to belong to a nice family, I should want a car, a house, money, a good job. So naturally I'm influenced by these things and I become subservient. It isn't until I learn that I'm whole without those things. It isn't until I learn that those things don't define me. So playing is a good terminology and a good way to look at things. School is another good way to look at it, because it really isn't until I come to know that I am a soul, it isn't until I come to know that innately I'm wonderful without any of that stuff. But initially, I think myself for sure, and I guess everybody else, we're influenced by what our parents, our siblings, society says we should want to achieve this. And we become defined by whether we achieve it or not. Because I don't want to be a failure, and it's a lot, but you have to come to know that those things don't make you, those things don't define you. And it was like someone said something about the body. Now, I'm not this body, but it's my responsibility to take care of this body. Because this vehicle, if I use it properly, it could do a lot of things for me. But if I don't take care of it, if I don't have that understanding, and I don't understand that it is my responsibility, even though I am not this body, I have received this body on loan. I need to take care of it in order for it to work for me and to get me to whatever my aim is.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Very good. But to use anything, no, it's in the best way. Internally, we should not be subservient to it. That is the way you can use it in the best way. More you are subservient to it, you are limited in using it. More you are free, better you can use it. And your discerning powers are better, how to use it and for what to use it and for what not to use it. This time is already, but one last question.
Okay, I'll use myself as an example, for instance, here. So an aim that I have is to make people smile, for instance. And so say I go around and I hand a rose to absolutely everyone that I encounter. I suppose my question is, I feel as though the tendency for jealousy can creep into some people's minds and hearts.
Turn it off. It is behind the reception of cell phone.
I feel the tendency of jealousy can creep into people's minds and hearts, definitely my own. If someone did that, if I cared for someone and I saw them handing out flowers to absolutely everyone, I would say, well, who am I then? I don't feel special anymore. So I guess, where is the border where you can allow someone to feel special, but also maintain the sense of loyalty or loyal connections so that someone understands that you're not just treating absolutely everyone the same as though that bond doesn't matter. I don't know if I'm really being clear.
You know, if there is a spirit of brotherhood among siblings, for example, you love all your siblings in a state where there is no ego or where there is less ego. No one feels jealous. You are happy for the love that others share. You're happy for the bond that others share. Because you are happy anyway. You don't need that to make you happy. You're happy for their happiness. Understand? So an act of kindness, an act of goodness is nice. And you're happy seeing others share that. In this mindset, you will say, I want that. Why to them and not to me? Or why not only to me? That is this mindset. In this mindset, you are happy for the happiness of others. That makes you more happy. That nobility, that generosity of spirit will be natural in this state. To make someone smile is good. Someone goes around making people smile, you are happy. They don't have to give me a rose for me to be happy. I'm happy others are receiving roses. Understand? But it is that ego mindset that is inner emptiness that can't stand it. It has one chant, no? Me, my, and I. In this mindset, at the most, it is a feeling of we and us. You give yourself the rose. That's fine. You give others a rose. That's also fine. No rose is also fine. Understand? Yeah. Understand. Yeah. But all we can do is play with this and experiment with this, because this is not the standard at the moment. This is the standard for all of us. And I'm talking about myself too. This is our potential. And actually, life is telling us you are not using your potential. You're not living your potential. Step up. This is why some situations come. To tell you, to push you. Use your potential. Use your possibilities. Life is forcing us to be spiritual again. To shift our awareness. Okay, time has passed. For those who have time, we may just have few more minutes of meditation, but maybe Suja, you want to make some announcement before we close with the meditation?
Just a reminder for everybody, please check out the website for all of our upcoming workshops, classes. We have Spanish classes. We have the program for Haiti coming up as well. That is August 24th to the 27th. So anybody that you know that is from the Haiti community that would like to go to the retreat in Peace Village, please have them sign up. And also the Invisible World of Truth is coming up August 12th and 13th. So if you want to get a little bit of a deeper dive into the session that Sister Rona has given. And also, please check out our 7-day course that will be coming out soon as well. So these are little tips that you can actually use along the way on your journey to deepen your practice of meditation that Sister Rona is about to walk us through right now.
Thank you. And just one thing wanted to emphasize, because I've been hearing and we've been receiving some emails, people seem to think that we are only doing courses online or activities online. And that is absolutely not true. Actually, the activities are in the first place in person. And those who want to join because they can't come in person online, there is the possibility to get the Zoom link, but the center is open, not only during the events, we have normal opening hours. So please do come visit us. There is a beautiful, quiet room upstairs where you can sit, reflect, meditate, take some quiet time out. So if you are a New Yorker, if you are a Manhattanese, then you definitely have to come to the center. You can't live in Manhattan and not have visited this center. So just wanted to emphasize that, because yes, during the pandemic, we all stayed in and we all went on Zoom, but that is not necessarily necessary anymore. Those who live far, those who live in wherever, some of us joining us from India, I'm seeing even, and some from Florida, wherever, you're most welcome to join on Zoom. But when you visit New York, you come to the center. Okay. Let's take a few moments. And although this information is a lot and the ideas are big, the practice is simple. Just come back to the awareness that you exist as an invisible experiencer. Timeless, innocent being of consciousness. And we use the image of a light, tiny star to indicate the soul. But this actually non-physical, invisible consciousness. And this living light associates with the body. Just like a driver associates with a car, drives the car, but never becomes the car. Same way. Real self is a being of serene, timeless, living light. Temporarily using this body. Soul is like a guest in this body, guest on this planet, visiting. And just for a few moments, hold this image of tiny star of serene light. An immortal being, godlike being. Pure, free, imperishable, living light. All we need to do is to emerge this forgotten awareness of who we truly are. Nameless beings of peace, beings of benevolence. By identifying with body, getting attached to temporary things we've forgotten, the real self. Now it's time to remember. Remember the beauty. Remember the real self, the soul. You have a good evening.